right, Renee with Our Neighbors, tell us who you are, tell us what the organization is and why you're here at the State Fair today.
All right, well, I'm the executive director of Our Neighbors, and Our Neighbors is short for the Rochester Neighborhood Resource Center. And we were created out of a mayor's task force about 10 years ago, and we're a small nonprofit in Rochester, and we do any kind of projects that are excuses to get neighbors out of their house and talking to each other.
Mm-hmm. And what's the benefit of that?
There's power in neighbors and connections with people. And I think that's all what In Commons is exactly about, is that power of people.
Uh-huh.
And so when neighbors get together, they can solve big problems.
Any great examples of kind of some of the concrete successes that Our Neighbors has pushed?
We have one neighborhood in particular that was really troubled a couple years ago, and they organized a neighborhood association, and we help with all of that. And they've really cleaned up their neighborhood and chased a lot of the crime out. And we helped them with a street mural where all the kids got together and we painted the street. And we planted some boulevard trees and got the neighbors together to do that also.
Just by encouraging neighbors to talk to each other and bond together and chat about the issues.
And one big thing that we really push is it's so important to know the youth in your neighborhood. Because if you know the youth and you can call them by their name, that they're much less likely to get into trouble.
Uh-huh. Brilliant. One of the criteria for the award that you're receiving today at the fair is that your organization is moving beyond current economic challenges with creative and proactive community and economic development innovations. Reflect on that for a second.
Well, I think because we're such a small nonprofit, we have one staff person, so we have to be really creative and we have to be collaborative to get things done. And again, it goes back to the power of people getting together, that you have that synergy when people get together and they have ideas and they have ownership of issues, and you can just get a lot done without all the red tape and bureaucracy that sometimes extra funds bring.
How might the organization expand? What might you be doing a year or two from now if everything goes well?
Well, of course, it would be nice to have another staff person, but we're just trying to really strengthen our programs, and we'd love to plant more trees, but we need to find those funds to get more trees in the ground and things like that.
Was this inspired by something that another community was doing that you saw? Was it completely organic? I mean, where did the idea come from?
It started because we had a neighborhood that was a core downtown neighborhood that was having a lot of problems with crime and blight. And the city council decided they wanted to provide some kind of resource to help neighborhoods that wanted to do more. And so that it kind of grew out of that. And as I look at other organizations nationally, we're kind of unique in that some of the things we do don't really fit with organizations that are doing other things in different places. So it's kind of neat that it's Rochester's own brand. We're very individualistic.
That's really interesting. Could you be more specific, though? I mean, what exactly is Rochester Neighbors doing that other such organizations are not doing, kind of specifically?
Well, a lot of times, like with our Boulevard tree planting program, to us, it's not about getting the trees in the ground as much as it's about educating people and getting them together to know about how important neighborhood trees are. And the relationships that are built when people come out and plant trees is pretty amazing. We planted 1,000 Boulevard trees in one morning last fall. And we think it's a record. We have looked on the internet, and we think that's a record for one planting. We had 450 people come out.
Wow! And when will these trees reach maturity?
Well, they're all different kinds of trees. So some of them have already grown like 2 feet, but it'll probably take about 10 years for them to be mature trees, where the maximum energy efficiency types of things the neighborhood will begin to see.
This might be something of a rhetorical question, but why trees? Why are trees so important for a neighborhood?
Trees are amazing. When I first got this job, I didn't realize how important neighborhood trees are. But they provide shade for not only the homes, which is more energy efficient, but they can cover the street. And so instead of having to repave that street 3 or 4 times, that shade provides shade for the pavement also. So it's saving tax dollars in multiple ways, also the stormwater runoff. So a tree can collect all that stormwater that would normally go down the sewers, and then we would have to treat that water. So it's going back into the ground and it's staying there.
To say nothing of the carbon in our atmosphere that it's eating up. Renee, thanks for speaking with us. Congratulations on the award.
Thank
Keep up the
you.
good work.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.